Hi friends, this is Vicki with Grandma Vicki Crafts, and today we're going to make this cute little Christmas tree gnome, which I have already started, but I will show you and go through the whole process of making him. So what I started with was a cone that is 9.5 by 3.5 inches, and then I used some material to cover the cone, so that would be his body that I've covered in the material, and I got this at the Dollar Tree. Then I used just felt sheets, and you can get this at the Dollar Tree or any other craft store, and I think I used 3 or 4 sheets of this. You'll need some of the hair rollers. I used the long skinny green ones for his arms on here, and then I made him little mittens, and I used the Dollar Tree automotive cloth and a little pattern, and I'll include that little pattern. For his nose, I've used some fiberfill and just a piece of pantyhose, and I tied it up with string. You'll need some fun fur for his little beard. So to make the branches for the little tree, I used this compass and protractor set that I got from the Dollar Tree. So what I did was I would put the point onto my folded material, and I would make the half circle around. Then I would cut it out with the pinking shears. So you will need pinking shears as well for this, as well as your regular scissors. And at some point you will need to have a measuring tape and possibly wire cutters. So then we will need some decorations of some sort, and I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to be using. I've got a variety of things and ideas. So we'll see when we get to that point, but until then, let's continue. So to cover our cone, I have my material laying with the side I want to show on the outside is laying flat down. I'm taking my cone and I'm laying it with about a ½ inch to spare at the top, and I'm going to roll it around like so until the cone is covered. So what I'm going to do to get rid of this excess material, I'm going to take just a marker, and I'm going to mark just about a ½ inch below as I go all the way around, and I'm going to cut that excess off. So you'll see my excuse me, you'll see my mark there, and now I'm going to just cut that off, and I'll be back. So now we have the piece that I had cut, and you can still see my little pink line there. So I'm going back to place my cone on the edge, and I'm going to just roll it around, all the way around, until it's covered completely. And then you're going to notice that you will have excess material here because it's all covered completely. So we can also cut that portion off, because we won't need that piece either. So we'll just also cut this piece off like so. So now we'll have our cone covered like so. I'll get you up here a little bit higher. So there we are. And so now for the bottom, we'll just glue this down. We can make little slits and we can just kind of glue that part down onto the bottom. Be careful not to cut up too far up. And then we'll also put a piece of felt on the bottom as well. So I'll go and I'll glue this down onto our cone now, and I'll glue the bottom down as well, and I'll be back. So here's the cone, and it's all covered now. And I made a little circle out of the material as well, and I'll hot glue that on the bottom, and then it will all be covered. So there's my cone, and I've got the bottom covered now. So now I've cut out one circle out of felt, and I've used my pinking shears for this. And it is about a 7-inch circle, approximately, almost 7 inches. So that's the first size that I've used. So now I'm going to fold it in half, and I'm going to cut in the middle a circle, because I want this to go onto my cone, and I want it to go all the way down to the bottom. So we'll see what we can make happen here. Okay, so what I did, rather than cutting out another circle on the inside, from the middle, I cut out, and I kept measuring as I went down. Then as I got close to the bottom, I turned my felt up, and I pulled my little cut pieces through, and I'm pulling them down so that they will come to the bottom of my cone. Sorry. And then I'm going to just turn my skirt part down, and that's what that's going to look like that. So then we can hot glue these pieces that have been pulled down. We can hot glue those down to the bottom, and then just pull that part back over. So that's going to be my first little skirt part on my gnome, on my Christmas gnome tree. So we'll continue with the next one. So now the next little branch that I made is 6 inches, and we want to pull it down so that these little parts just come to touch the bottom of, or the top part of your first row, and then we'll just set that down. So that's what it's looking like so far. So now I've made a 5-inch one circle, and I'm just cutting it in the center like that, and I'll put it down, and we'll see. So then when you get it to where you want it to be, I flipped it back up, and I just pulled down those little points, and I just wiggled them down. You've got to be careful because your felt will stretch too. And you don't want that. You just want it to touch. So we'll just bring that down there, and then we'll fold that one over like so. So there we are. So it's starting to look like a little Christmas tree. So I'm going to continue, but then I've got my little beard that I'm going to have to put on, and then that will go up in here somewhere. So I'll make a few more of the branches, maybe a couple more, and then I'll put the beard on. So here we are so far. So what I've got is a 7-inch, a 6-inch, 2 5-inches. You could make this one a 4.5 if you wanted to, because this one is a 4-inch. So now I've got my little beard that will go on the front like so. But I think I want to give him his arms, so I think we should go ahead now and work on the arms before I put the beard on. So now I've cut two pieces of material that are approximately 3 inches by 5 inches. And I've taken my full length of my skinny pool noodle. This one is 7 inches long. And I took the wire out. They come with a little wire inside. You just take the little cap off. And I'm sorry, I didn't take the wire out. I took the caps off. And then what I did was I put a bit of hot glue in the end of one of the ends. And that is the end that I'm going to stick inside my little mitt. Now I've gone ahead and I've made the 2 little mittens for him. And I have a little pattern here that I will include this little mitten in my description box. And all I did was I cut it. This is the fleece that you can buy in the automotive department of the Dollar Tree. It's the car wash cloth. And I just folded it over. And so this is the folded edge. And then I cut it out. And so all I had to hot glue was just the one side. And I just glued it and held it down. Then I stuffed the end inside with a little bit of polyfill, just a little bit down in the bottom. So I'm going to take the glued end and put it in here. And then I'm going to take my one piece of material and I'm going to lay my mitten on my material. Okay, where are we here? And I'm going to fold it over like so on the mitten. And then it's going to go onto my little tree with that seam in the back about there. So now we might be able to cut off some of this pool noodle, but I'm going to leave it because it might help with my hat. I'm not sure just yet. So I'm going to go ahead and glue those on now, and we can always cut that off later. So that's my next step. So there's the one little arm on, and I've just stuck it on just for now with a little straight pin. So now I'm going to work on the second little mitten, and I'm going to put just a little bit of fiberfill just down in the bottom of the mitten. Just to kind of give it a little bit of stuffing down in there. There. And now I'm going to put a bit of glue on the end here on this one, and then I'm going to stick this curling rod in this mitten, and I'm going to do the same thing. Now I have to make sure that my thumb is going to go the right way. So this one is going in. So this one is going to also be folded because I want the seam at the back. So it will go like this. Oops. Just like so. So I'll go and glue this together, and then I'll be back. So here we are. We've got both of the little arms on our little tree now. So now I've gone ahead and I made my little nose, and I just used a piece of a nylon stocking and some fiberfill, and then I just pulled it all together and I twisted it with a piece of string. So I'm going to glue that onto my tree here, and then I'll just stick this on quickly with a little straight pin somewhere in there. And then we're going to put our little beard on. And I just want to tuck that around under his little arms, on either side of his little arms. So that'll look something like that. So it's coming along now. So I'll glue the nose on and I'll glue the beard down, and then we'll see what we're going to do about a little hat. So here we are. He's got his nose on and his beard on, and I just still have his little arms just pinned on. So now what I did was I took my measuring tape and I measured around him to the front of his nose. So right around his arms to the front of his nose, and that gave me 8 inches. So for his hat, I'm taking my piece of felt material and I'm just taking the one corner and I'm pulling it up like this, and this part will get cut off. So what this is going to look like is this. So across from here to here, where I pulled it over, is 4 inches. So now if I pin that there, I can cut this across down here and across here, and then we will have his little hat. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now, and you'll see what I mean. So here's what we have after I've cut it in half, and I used my pinking shears for this as well. So what I'm going to do, because I don't want that dip in the middle, is I'm just going to cut that off straight across. So then it'll look like that. So that's going to be our hat. So now I'm going to fold it, and I'm going to hot glue it down to the point. In fact, it might be a little bit tall. I might end up just taking it a little bit more up like that. Not sure yet. But if I do, I'll just be taking my scissors and I'll just be going in and cutting it across like that. So I'm going to go and glue it together, and I'll try it on him and we'll see what it looks like. So here he is, and I've glued his arms down, and I've just put a small rubber band there just to hold them until they set. or I can leave it on, whichever. So now here's his little hat. And I glued it, and then I turned it right side out, and I kept it the same length. And now I'm going to just put it on him, and I'm going to glue it down onto under his little nose, and then down at the back. And I think that looks cute. So then I'm going to do some more little ruffles, 2 or 3, and I'm going to put them down around here. Then I have a little star. I got this at the Dollar Tree in the hair section. It's a little clip for your hair. And I thought that that would be cute on top of his hat for a little star on the tree. So that's my idea. So I'll go ahead now and I'll glue the hat down, and then I'll make a couple of more little branches, and we'll just carry on. So here we are. I've got the branches on the top of the tree, and I will include the sizes of those as well in the description box. So now all I have to do is tack down with the glue on the little points of under the branches, just to secure them into place. Then we have to decorate. And so we'll see what we're going to do for the decorating. But I think he's turning out really cute. Something different. So here he is, all complete. And I ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 branches on the bottom. Then his little hat, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 branches on the top. Then I found some little ribbon, and I'm not sure if I got this at the Dollar Tree or where I might have gotten it, but it's just this fine little ribbon, and I just felt like he needed something dainty, and I thought that that would work, and so I think that looks pretty good. So I just wound it around onto the branches and just tacked it down with a bit of glue every now and then. Then I also had these Merry Christmas ornaments, and I do think I got these at the Dollar Tree. So I just glued that onto his little hands, and then these little sparkly pom-poms. I just found a red one, and I just hot glued that to the top. So there he is, and I think he's really kind of cute. I would like to thank all of my subscribers, new and old, for taking your time to watch me as I'm trying to do my little tutorials on my crafts. So if you would like this video, share with your friends, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and always remember to be kind. Thanks for watching. Bye now.